Well, we've got 3 leaders up here. I'll let them introduce themselves here and tell you who they are and what they do. And we'll have them talk a little bit about some fundamentals of goal setting. But this is your opportunity to say, okay, here's my situation. What would you do? How do you do it? That kind of thing. So does everybody understand that? Say yes. All right, this is your time, classroom style, to get real answers to some specific situations, so don't waste it, all right? So to my left is Jason Blake, and then Sarah Sloyan and Herb Jenkins. We'll start with Herb and come back to me, tell folks what you do here, how long you've been here, and we'll just roll right through this.
Herb Jenkins. I've been with the company for a little over 5 years, and I'm on the operating board with Dave and the rest of the operating board members. My title is I'm the Executive Vice President of the Money Spoke, which outside these walls, and even some inside these walls, people are like, what's that? So think about it like the wheel that you guys saw earlier, the wheel of life. Financial was up there. Within our company, we have different topics that we focus on as well. The money side of things, where a lot of our products and services live, is what I oversee from a high-level strategy and what we call kind of drawstringing perspective, bringing things together. So personal finance is where I live and breathe.
Sarah Sloyan, and I get to lead the EntreLeadership team. And I've been here about 5.5 years.
And my name is Jason Blake, and I am Vice President of the Real Estate ELP program, and I've been at Lampo about 3.5 years.
And what is a real estate ELP, just in case they don't know?
So Dave endorses real estate agents across the country, and actually folks come to us and ask, hey, who do you recommend in my local market? And so we connect those people with some trusted agents in each of those markets. And so they're pretty high caliber agents. They're typically in the top 5 or 10% of people in their market.
All right, Herb, I want to start with you. And Chris, as we all know, taught on goal setting a little bit earlier this morning. I want to throw this to you around the idea of, okay, everybody knows how to kind of identify a goal that we can all get excited about and we all agree on. But how do you take it from that corporate missional maybe mindset and make it an individual where the individual team member who has a role, who has a part in the goal, really owning it?
Yeah, that's great. And there's really 2 important parts there. There's getting them to have a goal that they make their own, but then it's also connecting it to the bigger goal that you may have for the organization. Both are really, really important. So here's what I'd say. I've done a lot of goal setting and with varying degrees of success, pretty good amount of managing to those goals, but I've definitely been in situations where I've made a goal and then honestly didn't really manage to it that much and just kind of went on the shelf. And I've really reflected on that a lot to say, like, why is that happening? What am I doing wrong here? And one thing that's really helped me a lot, both for myself and as I work with another team member. Let's say you got somebody on your team who's a vital part of making the goal that you have for your company a success. Then you've got to set with them, here's the overall goal. But I've found with them that if you take the approach of let's not just go through the mechanics of a specific and measurable and timely goal for you, but really let's take a step back and let's look forward to, let's say, end of this year, right? Like really try to make it one of those things that they can picture in their mind of something that could actually happen. Like imagine if we accomplished this goal, or what would a goal be that at the end of this year you would look back on and say, we really did something special this year. Get people to kind of dream with you, even on the goal itself. And when they go about defining the statement, if you keep putting it in terms of, okay, now imagine, walk me through if we're there at the end of this year, kind of what's true about the company, what's true about your role, your situation, and it kind of sparks this other side of the brain that kind of brings the goal to life. And what I found, so when people do that, when they really start honing in on what it's like to live in a world where this goal is accomplished, then along the way, as you're managing in the trenches, they have more motivation to actually see it through because they want that feeling. They want that idea of this could be a reality and it could be so much better for us as a company and for me personally that it really helps bring it to life. So go through the specific and measurable and timely and all those sort of things, but really add that extra component as you're walking somebody through creating their goal, and it makes it much more likely for them to actually see it through.
All right, Sarah, I want you to talk about the unique environment that you create within EntreLeadership, because we have all these different business divisions within Ramsey Solutions. And I love the Entre area. I'm blessed to be able to host the podcast, so I get over there multiple times a week, and I love the whole vibe. I've been able to see the stand-ups that you do on Thursdays. You're very clear in goal setting, but I'm just curious if you would share the style and the rhythm, if you will, on how you communicate clear goals with the team.
Yeah, I love that you just called us unique. Most people just say we're kind of crazy.
Crazy's good.
We love to set huge goals. Like if you're not waking up with night sweats, then we're probably not setting big enough goals. And we love to make it really visual. So if you come over to the Entre space while you're here, you'll see this massive mountain. And we have identified at the top of that mountain our goal, which is $25 million. And then we have all of our little tick marks and our little yodeler man who is climbing to the top of this mountain. And it's really fun. We get really practical with it. So we've got a scorecard also to the left, and it says, okay, we're this percentage to our goal, and then we're this percentage in terms of time to our goal. So if those don't match up, like if we're 40% of the way through our time, but we're only 20% of the way to our goal, we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna have some chit chats. So luckily we've been ahead. So we've all been lots of bell ringing and celebrating. But yeah, we love to make it really visual, and we also love to know, you know, we're doing it over the course of a year. So if we don't do that, kind of break it down into small manageable chunks, we won't actually know if we're on track or not. We'll just kind of get partway through the year and think like, oh yeah, this seems like a lot of money. But we won't know, okay, are we actually on track to hitting 25 million or not? Is that helpful?
Yes. So one of the things I love about that, and they do it really, really well. One of the best throughout our company. When it's in your face, I mean, it's almost like it's everywhere, you know, in their space. When it's in your face that much, it's impossible to ignore. And that's the kind of environment that you want to create within your team, is we can't just kind of act like that goal never really was set to begin with. If you're seeing it every single day, it's always front of mind, and it's always something you're talking about your team and you, and that's what I love about it. That's what I've seen firsthand, what it does for them.
Yeah, I'm going to add something here real quick, Jason. The indirect result, okay, of this kind of visual in your face, using Herb's phrase, the indirect result for you, the leader, is people who don't like all this goal-centric focus are going to leave. I'm serious. Like, here's
Success.
the people, you know, here's the deal. Everybody's keeping score. And I think I said this last time. I got to say it again. I said this at the last Master Series. If you're not keeping score, leaders, you're the only one. That's what they did last time, too. That's true. Your team is keeping score in their own way. The ones that are driven are keeping score, so you better keep score. And the people that don't like all that scorekeeping, oh, these goals are in my face, well, they're going to leave. It's going to save you a lot of heartache.
I just had an interview, and I said, how do you feel about confetti cannons? Like, is that scary to you? Or do you, because if you hate that, you're going to hate our team. And I think that's fine. I think it's great to own who you are and live it big.
I was going to add too, one thing that's impressive about what they have over there is that they have one goal that everybody's rowing towards. They don't have 15 different goals that they're running at and ringing bells for 15 different types of things. It's all one goal, and everybody's focused on one thing. And that amount of clarity creates a lot of rowing together on that team. If somebody's working on something, they know it's attributing to that one goal at the end of the day. And so that amount of clarity is really on the leadership team to develop and bring out to their team on what are we working towards, and they've done that exceptionally well over there.
And you do some really cool stuff. We were talking just in the back. I love how you consistently are communicating goals within your team. Talk about what's working for you.
A couple years back on our team, we started having team members develop a presentation for the senior leaders. And so these are folks who don't get a lot of face time with our executive vice president or our senior vice president in our division. And so for 2 days a year, we have about 50 or 60 sales folks who come in, and admin folks who come in and present for 10 minutes their goals to the senior leadership team. And so They have they can do whatever they want, a visual presentation, some sort of vision board if they want. Most people elect to do a PowerPoint. And so we sit in there for 2 days and we watch people come through. They present for the first couple minutes on what did they accomplish from last year. So you set goals last year, how did you do with them? And so it's very tangible, tactical. I either hit my goals or I didn't hit my goals. Here's how much I missed it by. And then here's what we're gonna do this year. And so the goals can be personal. And so we're not saying just come in and do business things, but potentially you have a goal to lose some weight. And so we had several people who came in and said, one of my goals is to lose 10 pounds and here's how I'm gonna do that. And then their leaders also sitting in there with them, and they have that accountability of like, I just told my senior vice president that I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. I better come back and do that. Or I'm gonna hit these sales goals. I better come back and do that. And so each year we have this history of doing this now. And honestly, my senior vice president said it's his favorite 2 days of the year to get that much clarity on what his team's working on and what's important to them. And just having that amount of accountability there with the leadership team has been very helpful for us.